Vlog. What's poppin'? It's good to be back, honestly. Been real busy. School just started. Uh, but before I got into the nitty gritty of school, I wanted to take a moment and let the world know how I feel currently. Or just think about how I feel, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm at right now is an interesting spot, Like in college, you figuring out who you are, where you want to go, what you want to do. And it's hard to know where you are and what's gonna happen. Like, at least for me, especially inside of what I'm learning, it involves coding and artificial intelligence is a big conversation inside of the community. It's like, where is it gonna go? I honestly don't know, but I trust and belief that I'll figure something out and I'll make sure I'm doing the appropriate things to get my success. But besides that, one thing that I'm super grateful for is being able to have a job. Honestly, I really dislike working for my first job was working at Freddy's. No, that wasn't my first job. That was like my second job. My second job was working at Freddy's. And I believe that put a bad taste in my mouth for working in general, just because it showed me what a bad manager can really do to your mental health and your working environment and how it affects everything else around you. And obviously it wasn't on them, it was on me for putting myself in that position where I wasn't doing the appropriate things to secure a better future for myself. But at my current job, I have a really hardworking manager. I have a really hardworking team that I really appreciate, and there's people like that I never would have met without it, and I'm truly grateful. One of the biggest focuses I think about a lot, since I wasn't working for a little while due to an injury, that I think about now is the how boring it is to actually maintain something, and what it really takes. Like getting to see behind the scenes of what it takes to run a business and be successful, especially over an extended period of time. It's truly a blessing. I work for a pretty sizable a company that's been around 50 plus years. So to think back and like how it started, and for them to maintain this vision for over so long and keep working towards so many new different goals and opportunities, it really is inspirational. Because for me, I will start a business. I'm not sure exactly what it will be, but being able to see this and understand how their interconnectedness works, to be able to apply this to my own logic of how I want my vision and my business to be built, is honestly a true blessing. And to see the amount of different people that come in and all the different roles that people can fit into, it's really nice. And to see the time it takes of doing the boring tasks and what it means to drop everything to make sure the business is successful, and we are aligning everyone in the right order to produce the best that we can. That's honestly super nice. Also wanted to speak on why I started vlogging, and why I think you should probably start vlogging. For me personally, there were a lot of points in my life where I wasn't exactly proud of where I was at. And granted, I'm young, I'm figuring things out, blah, 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 blah. But for any person out there, I would say vlog. I mean, I started because I wanted to look back and see where my mind was when I'm older, what I was thinking, and all those different topics. But I really wanted to focus on forcing myself to move, because if I wasn't vlogging, like, I'll reflect back on last year. I spent a lot of time, I moved into a new situation, a new environment, where I spent a lot of time just doom scrolling, like swiping on Instagram, swiping on TikTok, and that slowly took my time away from what was important, which caused me to be overwhelmed, because getting behind is a slippery slope. Once you're behind, you're just gonna keep being behind in other things. That's just how it works. So with vlogging, it forces me to be in the moment, really look at where I'm at, and really focus on where I'm going and how I feel about what I'm doing. And specifically why I post my vlogs is a whole nother thing. It's because I want change inside of my life. I want to be a different person than who I already am, and I want nicer things for myself. And what's the best way for me to do that? Basically, what I'm doing is bullying myself into being successful, or finding a new paradigm of success through my eyes, by showing the whole world how I already live, and having the whole world, not even the whole world, whoever watches this, having whoever watches it watch it, and then, like, say they comment, say they do something, this, that, yeah, whatever. But it forces me to realize that I'm not happy with where I'm at. The rest of the world can see where I'm at. And so what am I gonna do about it? So it puts me in a position where I'm forced to either stay in the same spot or keep pushing forward. And a lot of the times I understand growth is a slow moving process, but these vlogs, these reflections, allow me to see my ideologies and my thought processes while going through my growing section, so I can almost make sure my thoughts are focusing on the future instead of being stuck in the moment, because this is just my repetitions currently to get to where I want to be. One person that I can really think about that has really been inspirational to me, that I stumbled upon by accident, his name is Jeff Logan. I used to watch his podcast when they were like first dropping. Not when they were first dropping. When I was in college, when I was playing college football down at Nebraska Westland. It was. I used to wake up every morning, play his podcast, and one of the biggest things he said is, first you be, then it comes. And if you look at it, that's a breakdown of the word become. So you have be, and then it comes. So you have to be what you want to be already, and then the opportunities and the situations that you're hoping for will come after that. And just for closing, honestly, I would say to any person out there, when you're focusing on building a vision or growing something, is be patient. Your brain, you as an individual, your brain, you're growing into a new situation, and it truly takes time for something to cultivate and be the best that it can be. If we had to think of a tree, honestly, it's always the roots that get spread out first, so you lay your foundation, and then you're gonna build up from there. But before that tree is a thick, strong bark tree, like, it has to go through that process of spreading those roots, figuring out how to collect its resources, and going through a whole process of being before it comes to the fruition. Yeah. And honestly, this is advice to me too, is just trust yourself. Every hard situation you've been in, you've gotten yourself out of. So take your time and continue to believe that you're going to do the right things for yourself. And obviously, there are some situations where you're just blind to, or you don't have full knowledge on. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Get out of your own way. Like, seriously, you have the potential to be anything that you want in this world. And a lot of the times, the things that hold you back come from your internal dialogue. So if you're not if you're not clearing up your internal dialogue and making sure it's aligning with where you want to be, it's going to bog you down. It's like a fog that can slowly choke you up. And like I said, when you get behind on one thing, it becomes a slippery slope, which causes you to just continue to go on a downward trend. And don't be afraid to fail. I know that's like very cliche, and like everyone always says that, like, don't be scared to fail, It really does suck to fail, to be put in a position where you think you can succeed and then you fail, but it's an opportunity to learn. And you have to understand, your development will never stop. Your knowledge, your learning capabilities, like, you're constantly learning, because the world is constantly shifting. So you have to be okay with failing to allow for new growth. Because when you're at the bottom, you can slowly rise faster to the top. You have an understanding of where you're at and where you can go. It's an easier projection, way easier projection. And as always, be grateful, love your people, appreciate them. Yep, that's pretty much it for today's vlog. I would say stay true to you, keep loving life. Deuces.